For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than a standard 20K per year, I'm your host. We've been talking about the series A Celebration. I'm in my morning road. Thank you for tuning in to I Can Get You Fly TV show where you tune in for business after beauty school education. For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than a standard 20K per year, I'm your host, Stylist John. Thank you for tuning in. And on today's series, this series we've been talking about is go where you're celebrated. Now, why is it good to go where you're celebrated? You want to be in an environment where you're loved, cared for, people care about who you are, they love and respect what you do. It makes it a lot easier to grow. Now, why did I create this series? Well, I created this series because I personally have experienced situations and environments where I was not celebrated. And I found myself being able to thrive in the environment the most where I felt welcome, where I felt celebrated, and I was able to exude the skill set that I had when I felt appreciated. So the series that we're talking about today is Celebrate While Being Disciplined. Okay. On the last episode, I spoke about celebrate while growing. And why do we throw a celebration? Well, we throw a celebration because a celebration has a lot of energy in it. A celebration exudes a lot of positive reinforcement. A celebration makes you feel welcome. And so when your client feels welcome and you're welcoming your client and they're welcoming your skill set, there's a direct connection. You need me and I need you. And we both are celebrating at the same time. Why? Because I want you to have a good hairstyle. You want to have a good hairstyle. You appreciate the skill set that I have. And I appreciate you coming to sit in my chair because you didn't have to. And so now there's a match. And when you begin to celebrate, you become very happy. And people love being around people that are happy. People love being around people that love doing what they love to do. And I love this. This is something I'm going to be doing for the next 70 years until I'm 100 years old. You know, Lord willing, Lord say the same. And so why do you celebrate? Well, you celebrate because in the down times, by exuding a level of celebration, it helps show positive. It helps you remain positive. It helps your attitude remain balanced because things don't always go our way. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes your car break down. Sometimes bills will come unexpectedly that you wasn't even expecting. You know, things happen, right? And so while going through these moments where things are at a decline or things may seem to be at a decline, it keeps your mind focused on what the end goal is. God have always blessed me to be able to see the end before I begin. And so every time I begin a project, I always have a vision of what it looked like in the end. And then my mind always go all the way back to the beginning, and I have to do it backwards. I've always had backwards thinking, not backwards thinking in a negative sense, but backwards thinking that I've always had a clear goal in mind for what it is that I've always wanted to do. I'm going to go back to my childhood. Why? Because this has been happening to me since I was a child. When I was a child and I said I wanted to play the drums, the first thing I did was I went into the pots and pans that my grandma had in the cabinet, and I pulled them out and I grabbed and I started playing on them like a drum set. I was just imagining and having a good time and exuding my dream of wanting to be a drummer. I went and I grabbed the pots and pans and I began to play on them. I'm like 2-3 years old playing on the pots and pans. My grandma got a kick out of it. I put the pot on my head like Johnny Appleseed did. Now, why did I do that? I acquired a vision of what I wanted to be and I began to dream. Okay. And sometimes when you're an adult and you in realistic settings, your ability to dream gets tampered with. And so the thing about children, than adults, children have the ability to dream and make their reality whatever it is. And so you have to go back. You have to go back inside yourself and go back and revisit what your dream is, because everybody got them. And when you go back and revisit your dream and you work really hard, you can make your dream a reality. When I was in the 3rd grade, and I said I wanted to play on the basketball team. And I didn't really know much about basketball other than the fact that I loved it and Michael Jordan was my favorite basketball player. What I had to do, I had to go outside and dribble the basketball every single day Why did I go outside and dribble the basketball every single day? Well, because I wanted to learn how to move with the basketball because I had a bad problem with traveling. So I had to go get the basketball and run up and down the street with the basketball, not really knowing how to dribble very well, but trying. And it used to take me two hands to shoot the basketball because my arm strength wasn't that developed to where I could shoot with one hand. So when I would be in gym class, I would hold the ball with two hands and I would have to push like this to push the ball up just to make a free throw. And it was hard at that time period. It's until I started developing more arm strength. I'm 9 years old. Well, actually, I'm probably like eight in the third grade, playing basketball, at least learning how to play basketball. But I had it in my mind that I wanted to be on the basketball team. And fast forward to being 14 and saying I wanted to play football and playing outside with my uncle, who's 6'5" and was 200 pounds, playing college football, teaching me how to hit and tackle outside my grandmother's house, teaching me how to play football. I had to learn. I had to become disciplined. I had to learn the right things to do and the wrong things to do, and I had to work hard. I had to work on my physique because I was chubby. And I was always a solid guy, but at the age of 12, 13 years old, I played two age groups up, and it taught me to be disciplined because they was way better than me. And I remember this drill where the football coach had us to hit against each other, and I hit against a guy that was twice my age. And he was a running back, and they set the ball between us, and they would say, hit, and you would have to get up. One person would have to grab the ball and run towards the other person, and the other dude trucked me. What that mean by truck? That mean we collided, and his force was greater than mine, and I fell over. And he stepped on my chest with his cleats, and that was the worst feeling in the world. I'm 12 years old. I said that will never happen to me again. And I had to become disciplined. Sometimes things happen in your life that make you think about it. When you experience pain, pain is a catalyst for success. Why? Because when you feel enough pain, when you feel enough when you feel enough anguish, when you feel enough pain, it can motivate you into being successful. Why? Because you never want this to happen again. You never want that same feeling of defeat. You never want that same feeling of failure to happen again. And so what it do, it made me go to the weight room. I'm 12 years old, started lifting weights. Body started changing. Muscles started popping out of nowhere. I started doing 100 sit-ups a day. My mom, when she would pick me up from football practice, I would say, Mom, I want to jog home. Because my stepdad was a third-degree black belt. And he used to jog from where we lived at on Natural Bridge all the way to the airport. It used to take him an hour. He used to jog from where we lived at on Natural Bridge to the airport. I'm talking about he would run with weights. He would run there and he would run back. And I ran with him a few times, and I was dog tired the first time I ever did it. And so being around him taught me a few things about working out and how to lift weights. And he left weights at the house. And so I would grab the jump rope, and I would grab the barbells, and I would just start trying. How does he get his muscles so big? I start trying. And I'm 12 years old. I'm leaving football practice. I got the weights in the car, and I say, Mama, I'm going to run home. I said, drop me off right here, and I'm going to meet you at the house. And she was like, no, I can't let you do that. I said, Mama, no. I said, I don't want to get trucked again. I said, I got to get bigger. She said, okay. I grabbed the weights out the car. I put my helmet on. I'm in full football cleats and gear. And she dropped me off on the side of the airports where they used to watch the airplanes traveling and coming in. There was a whole area back in the day. It was an area in the airport area where they used to watch the planes go by. And since then, now there's a highway built there. But back in the day, my mom used to drop me off over there. I would grab the weights. I'm 12 years old, and I would just start running with my full pads on every day. This became a routine. After football practice, I would run home. And what it do, it built up my wind endurance. It built up the fire and the fight on the inside of me that I ain't gonna never get trucked again. And so the next year when I tried out for the football team, I made the 12 heavy. And the first thing that the coaches did once we got our football pads is he sized everybody up based on the position that we wanted to play or what our size was, and he gave us the same drill. I'm playing for a whole different team. Now, I played prior to that, I tried playing with an age group that was 2 years older than me. And so now I'm at the same age group where I was at. So the coach did the same thing. He put us in the drill, put the football between us, said hit, and one person supposed to grab the football and run towards the other person. And this time I was the one that grabbed the football and ran towards the other person and I trucked him. And so by being disciplined and seeing what I did right and seeing what I did wrong made me develop some fire on the inside that made me remain regimented. And what does regimented mean? Regimented means where it's a consistent motion every single time, where things have a flow and an order and everything flows according to that plan and order. And it made my body like a machine. And when you celebrate while being disciplined, what is discipline? I'm going to read the definition to you. Being disciplined means it's the practice and training of training people to obey rules or codes of conduct, or it could be denoted as a branch of knowledge, typically one studied in higher education. So you got two things. Discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment or corrective disobedience, or a branch of knowledge, typically one studied in higher education. And so we talking about higher education, okay? And so I had to develop my own system of reward and punishment. And so what did I do? I began to discipline my body by working out and exercising very hard with the end goal result of being the best at what it is that I wanted to do. And how does this apply to beauty? Well, being disciplined have caused me to win awards, trophies. Being disciplined have caused me to be notarized in the who's who amongst high school students, to be a scholar athlete when I graduated high school, to be to have the Rising Soaring Award when I was in college working with the student government. It have allowed me a lot of different awards by becoming disciplined, and being disciplined can also keep you out of trouble. Not saying it's a good thing to be in trouble, but it's an even better thing to not even be in trouble. Why? Because you can sleep easier at night. You can rest assured that your record, when they follow you, people are gonna have good things to say about you. Now, why is it good to remain disciplined? It's good to remain disciplined because by having your what you would call your instant gratification in check, to where, let's say right now you got one marshmallow, right? But in 15 minutes, I'm gonna give you 2 marshmallows. Which one is better? Is it better to have 1 marshmallow now, or is it better to have 2 marshmallows in 15 minutes? It's better to have 2 marshmallows in 15 minutes. Sometimes people take the easy route and they lose their instant, they exude and magnify their instant gratification. But if you take some time and you work on your delayed gratification for the benefits later, to see the benefits of how things are going to go at a later time, while you're constantly working and celebrating through the good times and the bad times, to keep your energy on the same playing field as if you are winning. And when you don't win and you celebrate, even though you didn't win, you learn from the failure. And so when you learn from that failure and you celebrate while you becoming disciplined, what I mean by discipline? You have set yourself on your own system of reward and punishment. You have goals that you work on daily. This is what I want to work on daily. This is what I want to work on weekly. This is what I want to work on monthly. And you work to achieve these goals every single day. You work to achieve these goals every single month, every single year. Why? Because you're putting your hands to the plow and you working your pedal to the metal. Why are you doing that? Because you have an end goal of celebrating and being victorious. Other people may not see your goals. Other people may not see your dreams. And so you write your dreams and your goals on your vision board and you put it on your wall, and you wake up every morning and you speak life to it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to travel. This is what I'm going to drive. This is who I'm going to love. This is where I'm going to purchase my house at. This is the community that I'm going to serve in. When I was in beauty school, 2 years ago, when I was in beauty school, I had to make a vision board. Why? Because I was going through some of the most trouble and hard times in my life. The moment that I said I wanted to go to beauty school, what happened? My car broke down like the week later going to church. My engine blew out. I had only paid $400 for a vehicle. It lasted me for a year and a half. And the day I was going to church, after I said I was going to beauty school, my engine gave out on me. And then the company that I was working for as a barber, some things happened and I had to leave the shop. Why? My mother got into a really bad car accident where a lady was drinking and driving, and the whole entire vehicle ran through Steak and Shake, and she was almost pinned to the table and killed. Broke my heart, made me angry. I had to remain disciplined. The barbershop that I was working for, the state came in. I was not licensed at the time period. And the state came in looking for me. Somebody had made a phone call and the state came in looking for me. What I had to do? I wasn't working during the time period. I had just got a job as a supervisor inside of a kitchen. What I had to do, I had to remain disciplined. I had a whole lot of things happen in that same month. My car broke down. My mother almost died. The state came in looking for me. It would have ruined my chances of me having my license. I'm licensed. At the time period, I was working on my student license inside of a shop, cutting hair, almost making $500 to $600 a week. Excuse me, $500 to $600 a day. Cutting on the days when nobody else was there. I had to remain disciplined. Why I had to remain disciplined? I had to remain disciplined because I had an end goal in mind. What was the end goal? The end goal was I want to travel the world, educating, teaching. What else did I want to do? I wanted to make six-figure income. I had to remain disciplined. It was hard. It was not very easy. And I had to celebrate on the inside of myself. This happened 2 years ago. And so with all these different things that was happening from the moment I said, I want to go back to beauty school, boom, I instantly got tested on how bad I wanted it. And then when I got into beauty school, it was so much stuff going on. When I was going to school, I had to catch the bus every day. It wasn't always easy catching the bus every day. And then I was the only guy among 60 women. That was challenging, you know, but I made it through. And how did I make it through? On the mirror at my station, I made a vision board. And what is a vision board? A vision board is a vision that you have for yourself, where you see yourself in the future. And you begin to write it down. In a word, it says write down the vision and make it plain. So I wrote down the vision that I had for myself on my vision board. I put it on my wall, on my mirror. I look myself in the face when I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would look myself in the mirror and tell myself, you can do this. You was built for this. You've been doing this since you was 5 and 9 years old. This is what you're doing, and it's going to help propel you towards your future. I told myself this every single day I got up in the morning. I looked myself square in the eye and I said, you a king. And I said, you about to help the community that you living in. You about to help the people that's looking up to you. And I told myself this, and tears began to fall out of my eyes. And I said, okay, got my motivation for the day, took my shower, put my clothes on, and caught the bus. I caught 2 buses to school every single day. And I caught 2 buses going back home. And so I would be in school almost 10 hours a day because I would go there when it would open, and I would come home after it would leave. And I was so dedicated to what it is I wanted to do. I graduated from school in a year's time. It normally take people about a year, almost 2 years to graduate school. I said, no. I said, you know what? This is what I want to do. When I become licensed, it's going to take me places. And I said, I'm not going to accept no for no answer. And I said, I had to remove all BS out the way. And so I had to remain disciplined. I had to remove the things that was not going to get me this goal. I had to remove some people out of my life. I had to remove some activities I like to do out of my life. And it was not very easy. I had to study my book every single day when I came home, at least for 30 minutes. Because if you don't read the book, how you going to remember the chapter? I remembered the book so much when it was time for me to take my state board test. I had so much memorization. The test supposed to take you an hour. I finished my theory test in 15 minutes. I went backwards. I went down. It's 100 questions. I went from the questions at the very bottom of the test all the way to the top. And then I skipped the ones I didn't know and kept moving. I finished in 15 minutes. And I had to study. I had to become very disciplined and regimented with what it is that I did and why. And so A lot of things I did didn't make sense to people. People wondered when I was going through school why I came to school with so many bags. I came to school with a book bag and a black bag. In my black bag, I had my digital camera, and I would record myself doing cuts and hairstyles every single day until the director of the school told me you can't have a business inside of a business. And I was like, well, aren't y'all supposed to be teaching us business? And they was like, yeah. But they wasn't really teaching us how to conduct business. They was teaching us how to pass the state board regulations. And so in my mind, I had already knew what I wanted to do. I had already knew what I wanted to be. And I worked very hard to try my best to humble myself. But not everybody see the same thing as you. And so I had recorded videos of me cutting and styling her for almost an entire year. I haven't released all of them yet, only released some of them. I took pictures of every single cut and hairstyle that I did. Why? Because I knew I was going to need to use my gallery for my website. And so what did I do? I remained disciplined. When the director of the school told me I could not videotape, I found another way to videotape anyway. Why did I do that? Because I had a goal in mind, and my goal was to be successful when I graduated from school. And the reason why I had a goal in mind to be successful when I graduated school is because I had to pay back my student loan for being in school. The school cost $17,000. I went back to the same school that I graduated from and applied for my instructor training license. And the lady at the desk told me, well, you got to be out of school at least 3 years before we can accept you as an instructor here. But I know some instructors that worked at the school that got hired on as soon as they graduated. And what they tell me, okay, sometimes you have potholes in what it is you're trying to do. What that means, you drive right around the pothole and keep working. You keep on working at your craft. You keep on working according to what your goals are. You're not going to be accepted everywhere, and that's okay. But where you are celebrated, where people are happy that you are around, where people are happy that you exist, and people are happy about your skill set and talent, you begin to thrive, you begin to grow. And then where you are disciplined at with your goals and your regimented behavior, it's going to cause you a level of success that no one has ever seen before. It's going to cause you a level of success that no one has ever seen before. And what do? You keep on working. You keep on educating yourself. You keep on teaching. You keep on helping other people. You keep on bringing people up to where they're supposed to be at. Why? It builds you up. You mentor others while you are being mentored. And while you mentor others while you are being mentored, everybody begins to level up. Why is it good to level up? It's good to level up because you don't want to stay at the same place. I'm retiring off this industry. This industry has been well to me. This industry is going to be what I retire from. And I'm going to be able to retire at a very early age. I'm 37 right now. Birthday coming up in June. I'll be 38. I'm going to retire from this. I'm going to be able to leave my kids, family, and friends some things to them so that life going to be easier for them. I'm going to be able to leave behind a legacy where my community and the people that's been looking at me are going to be able to smile. Why? Because I wrote it down on my vision board. I pray it every single day, and I actually believe it. And I know it's going to happen because I do it all the time. It's something that's in you. Everybody have a purpose and a destiny that no one can see. And it's up to you to birth that purpose out to make this world become a better place. Why you want this world to become a better place? Well, as above, so below, as within, so without. The kingdom of heaven is on the inside of you. And so in environments where it is perceived where so much hell is, that's where heaven needs to rest at. And so by being a kingdom builder and by being a builder, your job to go wherever hell is and know where it says that the gates of hell shall not prevail. What does that mean when it says the gates of hell shall not prevail? That means that heaven and hell have always been at war. And heaven is on the inside of you. And when you carry heaven to an environment where hell is and you manifest the kingdom in that environment, what happens? The environment begins to grow. the environment begins to get built up. The environment begins to be at peace. Why does that environment begin to grow, begin to get built up, and begin to be at peace? Because the kingdom of heaven is on the inside of you. And as you begin to build one person, you begin to build a family. When you begin to build a family, you begin to build a community. When you begin to build a community, you begin to build a city. And in this culture right here, we got some work to do. So get up and go do your work. Go do your kingdom work. Go build. Go show some love. Go teach. Go educate. Go do it. And while you're doing it, be disciplined. Work very hard to be disciplined. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But if you're consistent and you actively working on it and you show love, love will always be returned back to you, because energy does not die. It only gets transferred. And so if you want to transfer love in your community, go show it some, and it's going to show it back to you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Stylist John with I Can Get You Fly TV show, where you tune in for business after beauty school education. For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than a standard 20K per year, the series is Go Where You Are Celebrated. And while you go where you celebrate it, you want to celebrate while being disciplined. You want to rebuild your credit? Inbox me your name and contact information. I have some information I can send to you. And every first Monday of the month, there is an event called Cuts and Conversations. Okay. If you are a barber or a stylist and you love to cut and style hair, and you would like to donate some of your time, 2 hours of your time, to help the community out for children 15 and under, in order to help them with their hygiene, appearance, and have a great conversation to meet a great young person, inbox me your information, and I will get you the information. And I love mentoring. Why is it good to mentor? Well, as you begin to learn, it's always good to teach those that are coming under you that want to learn as well, and to help build them up. That's how we build strong cities, by building strong families. And we build strong families by building strong individuals. And while we building strong individuals, as we building our team of mentees, we want to help end homelessness. Why do we want to help end homelessness? We want to help end homelessness because there's an epidemic in our cities in the United States of people that have been disenfranchised. And these people that have been disenfranchised from the community because of either their thought process, medical condition, or sudden loss of financial income will not appear homeless if you are able to provide them with a cut or a style at least once or twice a week to help them maintain their physical appearance. When a person's physical appearance is different, they are received differently. I used to work in a church as a leader, a chef. I made almost 1 million meals in almost a year and a half working with the homeless. I used to have to make 500 meals every meal. So that's breakfast and lunch. I made almost 300 to 500 meals. I had to feed about 300 to 500 people every meal. I had to cook in bulk. I managed the kitchen that had about 15 to 20 volunteers at any given time that would just come in. I had a schedule. They would just come in and I would have to help them. It was a very interesting job. And when you're feeding the homeless, I fed 300 to 500 people at any given meal, and then had to leave them with lunch on Fridays before they would leave the facility after 2 p.m. And after a year and a half, I made almost 1 million meals. You know how good that made me feel to almost serve almost 1 million meals to people that was disenfranchised, where it almost could have been me. It almost could have been you. We got to care about the people, that don't have much. Why? Because you probably been in a state where you didn't have much. And by showing compassion and showing some care for those that are in need, whenever you in need, you will always have. Why? Because in the word it says, give and it shall come back to you. Good measures pressed down, shaken together, shall men give unto your bosom. And what does it mean for men to give unto your bosom? That means that from you doing the good deeds that you're doing and manifesting heaven on the inside of you to someone else that may be in need, when you in need, people are going to give unto your bosom. Your bosom is your chest area, your heart muscle. People are going to be moved by your heart and they're going to give to you. They're going to share with you. Why are they going to do that? Because love always begets love. And so when you begin to love your community and begin to care about it, your community begins to love and care about you. And so go do what your father told you to do. Whatever it is, whatever you've been dreaming about, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever your heart muscles say on the inside of you that you're supposed to be doing, get up and go do it. You don't need permission. The permission that you have is the dream you have on the inside of you. You got to make reality. And while you're doing that, you want to be an eagle. What is being an eagle? Being an eagle means that you think and act on a whole nother level. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No snakes, no fake friends, no people that talk bad about you, nobody that's trying to sabotage your work. None of that's going to work. Why? Because you think and act on a whole nother level. And you only passing through the situations that you in to get to your end result, which is where your goal is. And so Godspeed. To donate, go to www.gofundme.com/StylistJohn. Inbox me your email and contact number and your best time to reach you at. For more tips, subscribe to my YouTube channel below. You can join my newsletter at http://stylistjohn.webs.com/about-us and book your appointment with me at www.stylist.com/stylistjohn2 for your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly appointment. Okay? For business after beauty school education. For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than the standard 20K, you want to be disciplined. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. I love you. Have a good day.